Right, we're going to quickly fly through this video. I didn't intend to do this. It's going to be 5 minutes while I allow my porridge to cool down. But this video is going to be quickly about relationships with ourselves to the external world. Now, I'm not talking about relationships with other people, although we're going to go a little bit into that. I'm talking about your relationship to everything externally of yourself. So what's your relationship with like money? Consciously we all want money, but what's your relationship like towards money? Are you the kind of person that doesn't like to spend? Are you the person that's worrying about where your next paycheck comes from? Are you the type of person that's always worrying about how you're going to get this, how you're going to get that, how you're going to pay for this, how you're going to pay for that? If that's the kind of relationship you have with money, then you have a very negative relationship with money. You need to go in and you need to understand. So consciously, like I said, we all want to have money, but how do we feel about that when we're thinking about money? If we're feeling negative, then we have a negative relationship. If it's eliciting uncomfortable feelings or painful feelings, then we need to understand why these painful or negative feelings are there. Now, we can't expect anything to change externally until we've changed how we feel internally. Our external world is always going to be a reflection of how we feel. So when we build a good relationship, now abundance is a birthright. Through my own awakening, I suffered massively with money issues until I realised my relationship with money was terrible. I was the kind of person that never had enough. My thoughts and feelings and beliefs and how I felt about money was lack. I'll never have enough. And so of course I was only ever going to experience lack externally of myself. How can you experience abundance externally if you don't feel abundant? So this video is quickly talking about how we feel and a relationship wise, so it's an internal dialogue with what's going on in our reality external. What are you like with success? What's your relationship with success? How do you feel about being successful? Are you the sort of person that believes that nothing's ever going to work out? Is this what your relationship is like when it comes to success? That I don't bother because it's too hard, it's too much effort. It's just not going to work out for me. I've tried so many times but nothing ever happens. A negative feeling, a negative association with success. Why do you feel like this? Why is it when you think about success you're eliciting negative feelings, or a negative response? We need to go in and understand anything that is negative in you, anything that has a painful association is painful for a reason. Now again, like I said, we can consciously want whatever we want, but how we feel towards that is more true, because in them feelings is our beliefs, what we're truly attached to, what we truly believe. And this can be the same with relationships. What's your relationships like externally? Are they painful? Are you finding people that disrespect you, that don't allow you to be emotionally available? If this is what we keep experiencing externally, we need to go in and see how we relate to relationships, how we relate to people. Is it a painful relationship? Does it bring up painful emotions? If it does, we need to understand why these painful emotions are there. What we're doing as human beings is completely blocking out all of our pain. In fact, what we're actually doing is we're spending a whole lifetime setting up every day to avoid feeling our pain completely. But within that pain is all of the associations, all of the beliefs, all of the painful beliefs you hold. And because these are painful beliefs that are not being dealt with, the external world is always going to reflect them. What is your relationship like with your own emotions? Now, if everybody tried this, I would break this one in an instant. Have a look what your relationship like is with your emotions towards other people. How do you feel about being in a position of vulnerability around other people? Now, I can guarantee, if you look at that one aspect of yourself, you will find that emotional vulnerability and telling people how you truly feel is a big no-no. There's a bad feeling, a bad relationship. The more, what we can begin to do is look externally and see what's not working for us. And then from looking externally, we can see how our relationship is internally. Your relationship with yourself is the most important thing you will ever do. When you begin to question yourself, when you begin to venture inside, rather than blaming everything else, rather than blaming everything externally, rather than saying, I've had a bad hand, I've had a bad life. Well, from my perspective and my understanding of who we truly are, your reality is your own doing. Everything that is happening externally, you are creating. And all the time you want to push and not face and not feel these feelings, you're never going to understand yourself, which means the external world is never going to change for you. You can try to be as positive on a mental level, but until you change all of these internal relationships and all these internal dialogues you've got going on, don't expect anything to change externally. So how we begin, there is no real hard work to do outside of yourself. The hard work is to be done inside. Because when you begin to change these relationships with what you have externally, internally, it's only a matter of time before the external world begins to start to reflect that. Now understand that you might now be in a position of lack, a position of poor relationships, a position of no success. But as soon as you go into and understand why you're in this position, and you get to the root of what caused this position to come about, and you understand that root problem, and you get to your own pain and you release that and you understand that, well, the process has begun. The moment you instantly understand something in yourself, you understand the relationship in yourself, and you undo that and you understand it and you see it and you release it, and you begin to understand why it was painful, where the pain come from, and you bring some compassion to yourself, and you allow yourself to express it, and you allow yourself to be vulnerable, and you allow yourself to even to be vulnerable to yourself, to allow yourself to feel this. As soon as you feel and address something at a root, and you understand it at the root, and you understand where it come from, it's only a matter of time before that starts to change externally of yourself. Now, coming from a position 3 years ago of being in a place where nothing was going right, every day there was problems, problem after problem after problem after problem. I'm looking at the world going, the fuck, why is my life so hard? Because internally I was hard, internally I had so many problems. Now when I look at my life, I don't see problems in my life. I see things falling into place one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. I don't have no resistance to what's going on because I'm not trying to protect myself from anything, because my internal relationship with myself is beautiful. And slowly but surely my external world has become beautiful, and it becomes more and more and more beautiful. I had problems with success. I had problems, relationships with money. I had problems with relationships to other people. I was the type of person that was completely shut off from the world. But as soon as we address something at the root, it begins to change. So this video, which was a quick video, is about how you relate to the world and how that relationship is affecting yourself internally. Don't stay conscious, get into the feelings, understand the feelings. The feelings are the trapped beliefs and the traumas. That's where the real expansion. We're all here to expand as people. Abundance is a birthright. Understand why you're not expanding and what's confining and containing you. When you understand what contains you, then it can no longer contain you. Till next time, peace!